Hey, what's going on? It's part of the A Game. I'm Rob Akampora, back in the Shared Universe Studios in New Jersey. I'm shocked to be back here. Everything looks pretty much the same. I don't get to come here that often anymore. But it is nice to be back here, and nice to have this gentleman make the trek here.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Ernie O'Donnell, who you may remember from a little film about 26 years ago. Yeah, I know. You know what, Christian? Let's get the photo out of the way and remind everybody. Harry, and you look like you've aged, Ernie. That's the funny part.
No, and I still have that sweatshirt.
Your kid, 26 years later, you still have that.
Oh, God, yeah. It's actually, I have a spare, but the original is hanging in the secret stash in Red Bank.
Oh, very cool.
Yes.
Very cool.
So, nobody steal that.
Nobody touched that. Well, what comes to mind? I mean, you look at that photo, and I'm sure you could probably remember everything, like, okay, how that scene went and how it was shot, and all that. It has to come back to you.
Oh, yeah, everything went quick that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a, hit it and quit it, kind of get in there, do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like too many takes.
Right.
At least, not that I was a pro back then, but, when me and Kev were doing stage comedy skets and plays and all that kind of stuff back in high school, we never rehearsed.
Oh, really? I never knew that.
We never rehearsed.
So everything was just total improv at all times?
Most of it, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so we kind of, we'd come up with the concept. Me and Kev mostly came up with the concept, and then Kevin would write it all and then tweak it.
Right.
Obviously, he'd tweak it and make it funnier, or and then he'd hand me the script usually the day before.
Oof.
Right.
So yeah, that's got to be like, okay,
yeah.
I've got how long here? What?
Yeah. So, and he was, back then he was still would stick to his guns as far as read what's on the page.
Okay.
That was, he was, infamous for that until Affleck kind of got into him a little bit and started, throwing his weight around a little bit.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, so during our sketches and like our plays, like when we did Grease, Kevin played Kaneki.
Interesting.
Yes.
I can't even picture him.
Oh, no.
That's the funny part.
Right. Right. He played Kaneki. Originally, it was Mike Bellicose, but Belly didn't want it. He's like, I'm not playing Kaneki. Because Belly, he don't, if everybody knows Mike Bellicose, the inner row guy, he's one of our best friends in the whole world, but he doesn't care about that kind of stuff. Me and Kev wanted the, the stardom, the accolades,
right,
all that kind of stuff. So Belly gave him that role, and then I was Danny Zuko. So we obviously did rehearse for that.
Right.
But our director, John Rogers, would always say to me, Ernie, how are you going to dance? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? And I'm like, John, I got it.
Got it.
So he's like, you got to show me something, And I'm like, trust me, dude, because I don't
have
know.
Some faith, yeah.
Yeah, well, and me, I guess that's kind of cocky to a degree.
Oh, absolutely, it is.
I'm a nobody.
Right. But again, in one sense, it is showing that, hey, you know what? I do have the confidence. I have that ability that I know I can pull this off, but it could also rub some people the wrong way.
Right. But he knew too, and our style with the talent shows, because we had already, this was senior year when we did Grease.
Right.
The talent shows, we formed that whole talent show, I guess, organization, community, whatever, in that school our freshman year when we got there.
Right.
Because there wasn't nothing there. So we formed that, me and Kevin. And that's how we did everything.
Right.
We just got up there and boom, did it. And everything, nobody really knew if we were screwing up.
Okay.
But it all played really well.
Well, let me fast forward then to today, because right now you're in probably the best groove of your career, without question. There's so many things going on with you.
I got a lot of stuff
right,
going on.
And you're also somebody now that's directing. You were writing, and you're doing more acting. So has it changed from back then when you were kind of that cocky kind of the confidence dripping, or does that still play today, or is it maybe a little softer edges? I guess is the only way I can put it.
Oh man, that's oof. The confidence level is, am I confident I can do something? Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Am I confident that I can nail it without a rehearsal or a direction from, say, like if I'm doing something for Kevin or somebody else?
Sure.
Because he'll normally let me just go.
Okay.
Because he knows my style. He'll say, just do you, dude.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. And if he doesn't like something, he'll quietly, respectfully, which is awesome, come over and say, just give me a little this or a little that.
Okay.
Oh, you got it.
Okay.
I mean, I have no problem taking direction. Trust me.
No, let me give you an example.
You know.
If Christian, you put up the photo from Comic Book Man, because this is still, I think, the episode from on AMC when you guys showed up together. And of course, there's Scott Schiaffo, Brian O'Halloran, Jay Muse, and yourself.
Yep.
So, I mean, you go on that episode. Is it more like just, you be you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just we went in there with that, we gotta have a little swagger.
Yeah.
You know?
And that was coming across right out of the gate in
Right.
that episode.
Yeah,
no
we gotta
doubt.
have a little swagger, a little Reservoir Dogs type kind of walk coming in. That was what they kind of put in our heads to come into the building, and that was it. All the playoff with Walt and Brian and Zapp and all those guys, that just all came natural.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no real script.
Right.
There's a formula of what we kind of want to accomplish for the
Right.
day, but there's no script. I mean, obviously they edited certain things together, but we had a blast, man. That was
And it came across. It really did come across on camera that way.
Yeah, Pinhead was.
Like I said, the episode of Comic Book Man without question.
We loved it. It was great, and the response and the feedback from it was great.
Oh,
so
yeah, absolutely.
I was really happy about that.
Ernie O'Donnell here on the A Game, and I think that was sort of a pivotal moment for you because I think that has kind of carried into where you are right now. I mean, the last couple of years has been a lot of steady work and a lot of good things have been happening in your world.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, listen, have I had opportunities in the past? Yes. But I'm the kind of guy where I'm like, work comes first.
Yes.
As far as paying my mortgage.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
bills,
Absolutely.
Being a responsible adult and doing my things. The acting thing, listen, my wife is the greatest in the world. She let me to go to L.A. for 2 months, do my thing.
Wow.
She'll let me anytime I get a gig ahead. I did years and years of background work. I think I did 30 features.
Right.
And she never had a problem with any of it.
That's great. And that has to help.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I still gotta
pay the rent.
I
like
gotta
you
work.
said. Absolutely.
I gotta pay the mortgage, and pay the bills, and do my part.
Right.
And to me, that's important. So acting and other things kind of went on the wayside. To a degree. But being in the union too, also kind of. Back then, I got in the union early.
Right.
So there was really no or hardly any non-union work.
Yeah, true.
Anytime you looked in backstage or any of the trades, it was always union work.
Yeah, that's what people don't understand. It's so important to have that SAG-AFTRA certification, have the card, because it is going to open so many more doors.
Right, exactly. But now the script has been flipped. You go into the trades, there's more non-union work. I get friends asking me to do stuff in non-union work, and I'm like, I can't do it.
Right. And that's because a lot of it is because independent film has really become the thing now more than ever.
No, it's taken off, and that's because of technology.
Right.
It's because back then when Kevin was making Clerks, you got to go to New York City or a production house or a prop house or something like this and rent all this equipment. Nowadays, kids are doing it on phones or these cameras that are,
I mean, you've been friends with Kevin for this long, so you can answer this question for yourself and for Kevin. Could you have seen the way this has developed in 2020, where we're seeing just guerrilla filmmaking, literally just, here's your iPhone, we can do it that way?
Could I, listen, we all know technology moves and moves, but would have I ever imagined it moving this fast at this pace?
Right.
God, no. No, I mean, it's just, it's crazy. And, I do simple things with, my buddy Christian Gord here from the Shared Universe. We do stuff for the Smod Castle.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Christian, if you post up Smod Castle so people can understand this has really become a really cool thing on YouTube. You're getting tens of thousands of followers. How many episodes are you in on this right now?
I think we're in 4 right now.
4? 5. We're at 5.
Yeah, and we're going to drop another one hopefully in the next within the next week. I hope.
If I can set it up for everybody, these are little vignettes, and this is going back to the beginning. And this was the old video store, was it not?
No.
Okay.
This is the building where this is the Mecca. This is Ground Zero, the Quick Stop.
Right.
The RST Video is two doors down from the Quick Stop.
Thank you. Okay.
And we are the end unit of that building. So we're the bookends. The Smod Castle is one end, and the Quick Stop is the other end.
Okay.
So we are taking over that space. It's a small, intimate, live podcasting, live stage readings, weddings, comedy nights, art galleries, Saturday morning cartoons and pajamas with Kevin Smith.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we're tossing around so many ideas of things to do that, I mean, if his fans are willing to come,
Oh, sure.
we'll do it.
And what I like about the video, it's like it's got this DIY feel to it. So if you
Right.
watch it, you're basically seeing this built from the ground up, and you're explaining it really well. And I'm kind of surprised in a sense. Would Kevin have thought about maybe shopping this to a network like that, and kind of because you think if the Brady Bunch can do what they did for their house, I figured there might be a, you know what I'm saying with what I'm going here.
Yeah, I know. Listen, me and him have talked about a lot of different options, but this was just kind of a silly kind of thing that I kind of came up with in my and then he's like, yeah, let's do something like that, and then he came up with the same thing.
Right.
So we both kind of were thinking the same thing when we got together and talked about it. He's like, yeah, I was thinking that too.
Cool.
And then he wanted to bring some people out from L.A., and I was like, well, that's just crazy.
Yeah, you've got everybody here in Jersey you could possibly think
I
of.
mean, listen, his guy out in L.A., Josh, is tops. He's one of the best.
Right.
But economically, I need somebody that's here every week.
Sure.
Or on the fly, I could call up and say, "Hey, I'm here, man. Let's shoot something real quick."
Right.
And that was Christian, and he's been blowing it out of the water.
Yeah. And by the way, Christian Cordes has been on my podcast, and we did a great job just reminiscing about his dad, Prince B of PM Dawn. That was just an incredible.
And that's another
hour.
another thing. That whole connection with me, with my love of old school hip hop.
Yeah.
Kevin's love of old school hip hop. That the fact that he's connected to that is just like.
I still love his reaction when we were talking about how his dad's song winds up in the Jay and Silent Bob movie. I mean, I'm sure you had that same reaction. Like, yeah, it deserved to be there. It really did.
Yeah. And then when I told Kev who was doing it, he's like, "Oh yeah, this makes sense."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and that's the great thing about the View Askew universe. Everybody's very tight knit, and it grows. And
Yes.
you incorporate more people. And once you're in, you're in. That's the one thing I've noticed.
Well, yeah, you're in. It's but the thing is, like, once getting in is the hard part.
True.
And once you're in, you gotta prove yourself. Once you're in. Because,
Kevin, I'm trying. I'm trying here.
But the thing is, once things start happening, everybody knows when Kevin wants to do something, he's very creative, and it's a lot of times, sometimes it's on the fly.
Right.
And that's fine, because that's how creative people are.
Yeah.
You think of an idea, it's the last minute, and he's like, "Well, I want to do this." Okay. Well, when do you want to do it? I want to do it next week.
I'm glad. Thank you for the notice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You want to do it next week? All right. Let's see what we can do here.
Right. Exactly.
And then he has a network of people around him that will get this done. So he surrounds himself with the right amount of people to get these things done. Right. And that's fine. Right. I mean, is it a little crazy sometimes?
Sure.
It is. And then, but that keeps you on your toes. That keeps you moving fast.
This is true.
And thinking on your feet and getting things done. And that's, I've gotten into the fold a lot more lately because, back in the day when we used to do comedy sketches, plays, anything together, I was always like the organizer.
Okay.
Collecting all the stuff, getting things going. And he was, obviously the writer and creative. I mean, I helped with creative, but listen, at the end of the day, Kevin created the majority of everything and wrote the majority of everything.
Right.
But I think he knew that I was maybe like an untapped resource because I've been around for a long time. And anytime he's ever asked me to do something, it's pretty much always gotten done. Yeah. Regardless of the time frame or the schedule. Unless I say to him, "Listen, you're out of your mind. I'm telling you right now, this ain't happening." Right. And he appreciates my honesty.
Of course.
Because if I can't kind of get it done, then I don't think it's going to get done unless we hire a huge team, which we don't have that. We're trying to keep things to a certain budget
yeah, right.
because we don't want the fans to have to, what's the word I'm looking for? To absorb that cost.
I understand what you're saying.
So we try to keep everything to a certain spot where everybody can be happy and can afford to do these things. So when he approached me to do Vulgarthon, he's like, "Would you be interested?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think yeah." He goes, "Can you handle it?" And I was like, "Dude, I can handle it." So I was off and running, and I think he knew because I just got done producing a movie called 100 Acres of Hell, which I did, and I think he knew that I was kind of trying to gravitate more towards the producing side, even though the acting thing I still want to do, but I still want to do behind the cameras and behind the events.
Right.
So Vulgarthon went off without a hitch, very successful.
And Vulgarthon has become a staple. This is really one of the first years that you couldn't do it,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that went off really well, and then after that, it was just, then he started tapping me about different things, and let's do this, let's do that. And that's how Smodcastle came about. I mean, let's be honest. If I didn't do Vulgarthon, I probably wouldn't have been in Kilroy Was Here.
Which we're going to talk about, absolutely.
Because I did Vulgarthon, and the day before he left, he goes, what are you doing next in 2 weeks? I was like, oh, I'm working, dude.
Right. You know, I got a job.
Yeah, I got a job.
All right. So
He goes, you know, he goes, all right. He's like, I might bring you down to Florida. I'll let you know. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, what's he doing in Florida?
Right.
And
so
I had to
you
remember. Yeah.
Okay. So
I
it
had to
doesn't click in
remember.
your head
No,
first.
no, it
Okay.
really doesn't click because Kilroy was on hiatus for a while.
Right.
You know, he had that moment where he was doing it, and then they stopped, and then he jumped back into it again. So then he called me 2 days later. He goes, can you make it to Florida on this date? I was like, yeah. What do you want? And he goes, oh, I want to do that. I said, yeah, sure. It was that simple.
That's simple.
But that's the thing, you know.
Right.
That's how things work.
Absolutely. In
You
that
know,
world.
and that's that quick and on the fly.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I need you to play one part. And I was like, okay. And then the day I left, he's like, oh, you're playing 2 parts. I was like, okay.
Yeah, so nice little bonus. It goes
Well,
from
yeah.
gets a little meatier.
Yeah,
and
yeah. I mean, you know, listen, I'll take whatever he gives me.
Right.
I'm not an idiot. You know?
Just a reminder, Spodcastle, you can find that on YouTube, all 5 episodes. They run anywhere between 3 to 10 minutes. They're worth your time, and at least if you're a fan of Kevin Smith, you can really get an idea what the Spodcastle is going to look at. Yeah, it looks like you got a few fans that are big ups to you, Ernie. Love Spodcastle. Keep doing it. Oh, thank you, Hazen Mitchell. We appreciate the support on that. And, yeah, if you want to chime in here on Facebook, please do. We'd love to hear your response. Ernie O'Donnell is here on the A-Game. He mentioned 100 Acres of Hell. Christian, put up the poster. Here's my chance to kind of dive into this.
That's the new one. That's not the actual official. Our graphic designer, Lenny, just put that out there for fun because he's a great dude.
Right.
He wanted to get, just put something out there for us. So this he just put out the other day.
That's cool.
But the official one from Indican Pictures is totally different.
I'm a wrestling fan. So when I heard Snitsky was going to be in the movie, I was curious because it's like the interesting thing about wrestlers, I think, is that they already have some acting skills for doing what they're doing. So trying to interpret that in a film, it could be easy, it could be hard. Was Gene a natural when we were working with him?
I mean, listen, his physicality.
He's 6'8" and 300 pounds, for God's sake.
Every time he dislocated my shoulder, I think twice during the set.
Oh no!
Well, that's just because. I mean, listen. It's almost 30 years of doing construction. My shoulders are a little,
right, but
tough. But
still, he's got.
He grabs you with his massive arm.
Oh God!
And his handshake is he grabs you and then he pulls you towards him. Yeah, and I'm 176.
Right, and this guy's 300. To give you an idea, Christian, give me a solo photo of Gene Snitsky when he was in the WWE. This really gives you an idea of just how massive. Yeah, and this is Gene at his peak. I mean, he's a big guy.
Oh yeah, he's a big dude,
no doubt.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. And listen, I was a little like, is he going to be able to pull this off?
I can understand that because we from a perspective of watching films, some wrestlers have been some surprises and some have just been like, okay, this is going straight to video and they'll never act again.
Right.
Sadly.
Right.
So in a sense, there's that little bit of a gamble. You're taking his name, which has some value.
Yes, it does.
And putting it out there and hopefully it interprets. And from what I've been seeing with the reviews, Gene's getting some good reviews. So this is really good news. Yeah.
No, Gene did a bang-up job. Yeah. And I felt kind of weird. I mean, even though I was technically the veteran on set as far as movies go, and I'm not. That's not to discredit Eileen Dietz from The Exorcist.
Right.
She was in the movie also, but she was only there for a day or two, and then she was gone. I was there for the whole thing, and I was one of the main characters. So Gene would come to me a couple times and say, "Oh, how am I doing? Am I doing all right?" What do you think?
That's flattering, though.
And it was kind of flattering to a degree, yes. But I didn't want to get inside his head.
I think I can understand that, yeah.
Because I guess he was kind of nervous to a degree. Sure. But he was knocking it out of the park as far as acting goes.
Great.
I mean, he knew his lines. He was prepared. And I think he just needed, that little bit of boost.
Right.
Sometimes. Like everybody does.
Sure.
Everybody on set, if you're not feeling like you're nailing it, you need to say to somebody, hey, oh, yeah, you're doing great. Don't worry. So I was just real nonchalant about it. I'm like, dude, you got it. Don't worry about it. And we were cool, and we'd rehearse sometimes in the car and things like that just to go through the rhythms. But he always brought it, and I was really surprised at the end result, how it turned out.
Cool.
And, I mean, the fight scene at the end with him and, the main killer, Jeb Tucker, at the end was way longer than what's in the movie.
Oh, really?
They probably fought for 25 minutes. and we had to cut it down dramatically because it was just too long.
Right.
It was too long. The bumps. There was too many of the same bumps.
Right.
But it was all real.
Right.
There's no. You see him.
There's no stunt doubles. There's no point. Yeah.
There's nothing fake.
They're going at it. Yeah.
This is two highly trained professional wrestlers going at it in a cold 2 o'clock in the morning at night in the mountains of Pennsylvania.
Right.
Beating the shit out of each other. And literally took a log and smashed it over Gene's back. There was no pre-cut in that log.
Right.
That was just a log that,
right.
he took and boom.
Boom.
And Gene took it like a pro. And
that's saying something.
I mean, yeah, and he gets, the flip and the throw that you see on the cars where they hit the cars and smash into the hoods. That's all real. There's no padding. There's no nothing.
These are good selling points for the movie.
No,
I like
that's
this.
What I'm saying.
I like this. Yeah,
you're
exactly.
a true wrestling fan.
Yeah. You're basically getting a mini match here.
These guys are legit.
Yeah. How many wrestlers? Was it 2 or 3 wrestlers that made this movie?
Well, the great Samu.
I was glad you're going to bring him up. As a matter of fact, Christian, bring up the dual photo because this is how I remember him.
Yes.
The legendary Head Shrinkers who were the tag team champions for many years.
Yes.
Big fan of Samu and Fatu.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I hear he's a great guy. I heard he had some health problems at one point.
Yeah, he's got, but thank God he's doing okay.
I'm glad to hear
but
that.
He's, he's, obviously, he has his problems. I'm not going to get into
No.
But
I'm glad to hear he's doing well. That was the important thing. Yes,
he's doing well, but he was phenomenal on set. And we obviously had to have a stunt double at certain times for him.
Right. He couldn't do the physical. To be honest, he could do some, but he couldn't do as far as Snitsky could go.
No, and he couldn't do the flips.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Onto the cars.
Yeah.
But we also had Lance in there. I believe I hope I'm correct. But Lance is his son. He's in it, and the great Samu, and then I think is it Afa? There's another.
Well, Afa was the father. Yeah,
right,
I mean,
we have 3 of them.
Okay, that's great. I mean, but that was the thing. I recognize Gene, and I recognize Samu right away.
Yeah.
And funny story, when I was working up in the Lehigh Valley doing radio, WXW was the organization that Afa had created at that point.
Right.
So, all of a sudden, here I am, an afternoon guy on the radio, and they're inviting me to be the ring announcer. I'm sitting there going, all right, one of the highlights of my career, I don't care that it was like, okay, there's 300 people. I don't care. I'm in the ring saying, I was like, and they were sweetest people.
Oh, yeah.
Really nice people. It was nice to hear that.
I went out to L.A., what's his name? Rikishi?
Rikishi, yes.
Okay. So I went out to his training facility out in Los Angeles with my friend Stacy Toy and Marky Tenenbaum, who were part of 100 Acres of Hell in the production crew.
Yeah, and I got to give props to Stacy for giving us the green light because we're going to play the trailer of the movie, so give everybody a little teaser on this. Yes.
So we went out there to their facility and watched some of those guys do their thing in the ring.
Oh, wow.
It just, I mean, they're a great family. That whole Samoan dynasty is just, I mean, obviously The Rock is like,
well, yeah, and he's part of that family.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
On the pantheon of things,
Right.
There's The Rock, there's Rocky Johnson,
Right.
but Afa is right there because of his era.
well,
Not as big as The Rock, but still, yeah.
my pyramid's different. The Wild Samoans are at the top.
I won't argue with you.
I mean,
I will not argue
That's where
with
it all
that.
started.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna, absolutely.
If you're going to give credit to those who were there before,
if you're gonna, exactly.
The Wild
Samoans. Sure.
Are like, are you kidding me? I mean, them and Lou Albano.
Captain.
With the rubber bands. I mean, I'm a child of 80s.
I'm glad you're geeking out on the
wrestling.
wrestling thing
because
because,
I love it.
I mean, in a weird way, this is sort of the theme of a little bit of this podcast because it's not just these wrestlers that we're talking about. We're going to talk about another one shortly. Right. Christian, if we can, this may be a good time to run the trailer. And if you can do that, okay, I can stall for a minute. That's not a problem. 100 Acres of Hell, you can stream that right now. Where they can find it on all stream services at this point?
Oh, yeah. We are on almost every streaming platform.
Great.
With the exception of Netflix.
With the exception of Netflix.
And reason
Damn
why...
them!
Well, most independent film, you'll know. If you're on Netflix, you're just on Netflix.
Right.
And which is great.
Right.
But our distributor gave us the option of going to multiple platforms, which is, DirecTV, Apple, Amazon, Sony. How could you not go on all of them?
Right, exactly.
And we're on every cable provider and it's
Yeah.
the more people you can reach, I think, the better. Because not everybody has Netflix. You would think they do.
You would think, but
they don't.
No, and the good
Right.
thing about it is right now, especially in the times that we're in with the pandemic and movie theaters just starting to open, slowly getting open. This is kind of the way you're going to see films, and here's a chance to get a really good horror film for it. Have I stalled long enough? One more second.
One more second. The great Christian call. Here we go now.
It's loading. It's not my fault.
Okay. This is the great thing about a live podcast. You never know what the heck's going to happen.
I thought you were the grand wizard.
You work with him. You should know. By the way, I'm with Ernie O'Donnell. This is the A Game. I'm Rob Akampora, and Christian is cracking up, so we may never get this download at this point.
That's all right.
Look, I can go. I can go. So it's ready. Okay.
If he doesn't get it ready, he's fired.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I see how it is.
All right.
It's all love here, but I see I was wrong.
There you go.
All right, here we go.
Good to see you.
Hey.
Rose Weekend is back.
Welcome to Foggy Creek Wildlife Preserve. It's just us, guns in the game.
It's ghost story time. Tell us about Jeb Tucker.
Just an urban legend.
He's gonna kill you.
He's gonna hunt you down and kill you. Hunt you like an animal.
Stuff. 100 Acres of Hell. Go get it. Okay.
Yeah, buddy.
Hi, Hiram.
What's up, buddy?
Ming Chen has now decided to invade the place. Wait a minute.
What? Up on the screen, special.
Oh my God.
Hey, Mr. O'Halloran.
What is it about Brian O'Halloran and View Askew? He's got to come on my podcast. I love it, but hi, Brian.
Well, listen, I have to live up to the I'm not even supposed to be here moniker.
How did I know that was coming?
You know, there's these stories of Bill Murray just showing up. People don't believe he's there. I actually do want people to know I was here.
Gotta love it.
Don't worry, we want you here.
We were actually talking about you before we started the podcast. We were talking about poker, just so you know. Yeah. No. By the way,
should be here.
Yeah.
You should be here.
He should. Well, no, Brian will be here at some point. You kidding me? That'll be a good thing. What are you guys doing? Okay, thank you. So I can see what Brian's doing. Hey, Brian. So how you doing? How's it over? How you doing in your bunker there?
We're doing well up in our mountainous state, in the woods. So the zombie apocalypse is 2 hours away. So we're doing good. Thank you for asking.
Oh, I'm glad. No, it's funny. You chimed in, and we were kind of talking about your neck of the woods because of Ernie's movie 100 Acres of Hell, which was filmed not far from you.
Correct. Filmed in Pennsylvania. Snitsky lives about an hour and a half out from me. So if I need someone to take a hit in the face for a lot.
There you go. We were talking about that too. Oh, Brian, since I got you here, I'm going to let you have center stage here. I'm just going to sit back and do your thing, bud.
So, Ernie,
yes, sir.
good to see you. We are currently in the process of working together on a new project.
Yes, we are.
And the boys and the board at the Hoities, that's what I like to call them, the Hoities, just as long as you don't get toity. I've known you since, I don't know, since you were this guy.
1993?
Next to that girl. And then you moved on, you know. You were knowing Kevin when he was playing with toys like this.
Exactly. Which I created that shirt that he's wearing.
And then he put you in another movie where you look like a cop fresh out of high school.
Yeah, you don't look like you could shave there.
Yeah.
Years later, you hit puberty.
There you go.
A cop with a porn stash.
I love it.
Through Kevin, you got to meet one of your idols.
There you
the
go.
One, the only.
D, baby.
Oh, D, yeah, good stuff.
And you were starting to get a little fancy pants on us.
Oh, yeah, my trip to the Grammys, I know.
But then I also asked you to be a part of the celebrity roast of me.
Yes, good time.
You killed it.
Thank you, sir.
And it seems like you're getting back to that bug of what every actor wants to say and do is, what I really want to do is direct. And you've been doing that here and there, more producing than making your own projects. They always say the best thing to do is to create your own work. Because God knows Kevin only has like what, 2 more films in his lap? Then what are we going to do? Right?
No, somebody's going to have to take it over, babe.
But the guys over at the Boys felt that I need your Jersey boy. I'm a Jersey guy in my life. And they want to present you one of these awards, the new Jersey Director Award from the Holy. You can join the illustrious Jersey alumni.
Is that for real?
It's for real. They're going to bring it up there.
Well, thank you.
We got our boy CJ over here.
Nice.
Get over there.
Would you like to present the plaque now?
Yes, please. About time.
I guess I got to get off my ass and write and direct something else.
Jason's there as well.
Yes.
Jason, are you there?
Guys,
Can't hear him.
yeah, hey guys,
Is Jason talking?
Can you hear me?
Mr. Jason Kerner.
Jason, you want to say it real quick? I can't hear you. I just talk.
Can you hear me now?
Is he talking?
Yes.
All right. Hey guys, how are you?
Doing good.
You were doing good.
Oh, good. Everybody looks good. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's social distancing. That's great.
We were all tested before we walked in the door. Don't you know that, Kerner?
Yeah, I should. Good. So what's going on?
I just won an award. You don't believe it?
I heard that
I won an award for a project that you were a part of.
That is fantastic.
Yes, my script supervisor, Jason Kerner, an associate producer of The Seventh Day, which was in Hang On to Your Shorts Film Festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. But actually, yeah, I was kind of a little surprised here.
We have.
CJ.
This is it.
I gotta tell you, I have some history with Ernie, and we worked on 100 Acres of Hell together, and just to let you know, this guy jumped into the director and writer thing with ease. I mean, it was a great production. Everything went smoothly. I mean, I couldn't be prouder and happier to work with a guy like Ernie.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
Thanks a lot, Jason. We appreciate your kind words. Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right.
Now we just have to give the award.
Here it is. The New Jersey. Let's see. This Hang On to Your Shorts presents Ernie O'Donnell with the New Jersey Directors Award, honorary achievement in the arts of directing.
Very nice.
Yes.
You upside down.
I did. No, I didn't.
Oh, there you go.
Congratulations.
Congrats. Thank you. This is awesome.
Absolutely.
The one of many more to come.
Oh, the humility.
Yes.
All right.
That's great.
If Brian is still there, since he
still
mentioned something about a project, Brian, can you clue us in on the project you're doing with Ernie?
So that's an Ernie project, and it's up to him to talk about it. But
do you want to talk about it yet?
Yeah, I can indulge a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm doing a project with my buddy Troy Burbank. He wrote a sitcom called On Our Own. So we're in the process of putting together 2 episodes. We're going to do an episodic. It's a comedy, and I thought of Brian for a part as our bar manager, owner. Sorry, yes, owner. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Get the right O'Donnell.
Yes. So we're in the process of putting that project together, and listen, Troy approached me and he goes, "How do you think Brian would want to do this thing in our pilot or sitcom?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I think we need to sweeten the pot a little bit." Now, I've been around Brian for years and years, and he's always come in and out of this Irish type of dialect that, when he talks about his mom and his family and stuff like that. And I always got a kick out of it, and he does it extremely well. And that's where it happened. I was like, we're going to write something, and he's going to be that character. Because it's really never been out there, right, Brian? I mean, you've never really put that character that you do, which is really just a joke for you and just, to be funny. And
Right, it's a little extreme on the Irish.
Right.
I've done plays where I've done Irish accents.
Right.
True.
But
Yes.
they were dramas. But I base it on my mother and haunting voice in my ear.
Yeah.
And so I thought, let's try it with this. And the script is really funny, and the amount of ball breaking, so to speak, that this character gets to do with the main characters is right up my alley.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. I've been friends with him for many decades.
Excited to have Brian come and be a part of the project, and the fact that he actually liked it, because
That's great.
Listen, sometimes you give somebody a project and they may not like it.
That's true.
And they may not want to do it. At least I know Brian was genuine about it, because I wouldn't even ask him about the project, and he'd bring it up to me and say, "Hey, what about this? Or what about that? Oh, this is going to be funny. We could move and do a lot more with this and that." So, he's interested. And,
Right.
It's a fun character.
Yeah.
And then it's a fun environment for these other characters to play in.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I'm very excited, and in episode 2 when we get to film that, we just actually acquired another actor, Angel Salazar, who I was telling Brian the other night, who was he was a stand-up comedian. He was also in Carlito's Way and Scarface and things like that.
Good stuff.
But we're gonna have some dynamics, some really cool dynamics with Brian's character and Troy Burbank's character and things like that. So we have a lot of fun in store with that project.
Working title of this show is going to be what?
Well, once we get it off the ground, as of right now, the working title is called On Our Own, in hopes that we shop it around and get on either some sort of streaming site, be it Netflix, Amazon, or
Sure.
and hey, listen, if we can get on NBC or
it's
one of the cable providers, we're all about it. But
Listen, we'll take Quibi.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Quibi's pretty hot right now.
But the
episodes.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Guys, I would think that the timing could be right for pilot season, because obviously the television season right now is not going to be as cluttered because of the pandemic. So hopefully you're kind of getting a jump on maybe the competition, that if you have something ready for pilot season, which is usually early 21, maybe you time this right, you hit it, and everything would work out great. I pull in for both of you, absolutely.
Yeah, the rumor is we're getting a load of films and TV from New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
They're the only ones who cured the COVID in their country.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so that means I get to watch Australian rules football then in December.
New Zealand.
New Zealand, that's true. This is true.
And I'd like to mention, too, I also have a project I'm working on where I have his lovely Diana Devlin is a part of. She does some voiceover work for me.
Oh, very nice.
In an animated sitcom that I'm putting together called The Secret Society of Handymen.
I like the title.
Yes. So
which he has plenty of real-life friends to base it on.
Yes, exactly. So that's another pilot project that we got in the works.
Good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff. And, it's good. It's good.
Brian, thanks for chiming in, bro. I know you and I have to sit down at some point and do our thing for sure.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Ernie.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it, and we will be talking soon.
Absolutely.
You got it, brother.
And our thanks to Jason
for having me on.
No, thank you for doing it, Brian. I appreciate it. Jason, thank you for chiming in, Jason.
Thank you,
I appreciate
Jason.
it, guys. And we're back here with Ernie O'Donnell here on the A Game, and I still got 2 more things to do before we even get to my random shot segment. Because you were mentioning the film with Kevin Smith. I got to bring it up. Kilroy Was Here is a movie that was already. Is it already done at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's done.
So we're looking at a sometime in 21 release with this movie.
Yeah, I spoke to Kev. I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, in reference to say, when do you think it's going to come out? And he was He had hopes and said, hey, it would be great if it would come out by the end of the year.
Sure.
But it's kind of out of his hands,
right?
Because the Ringling School down in Florida is pretty much handling a lot of the, the process. But I'd love to see it come out soon because by Halloween would be awesome. But
it would be. It would be perfect.
Right?
For it, yeah.
I don't see that happening. But you never know. I mean, the trailer blew me away.
Blew me away too. I got to see that trailer. Unfortunately, did not get licensing for that trailer. I apologize. Could not do that.
But it is on YouTube.
It is on YouTube, so go check it out. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And by the way, here's the other wrestler we're talking about. And this, when I saw Kevin come on AEW Wrestling on TBS, I was like, what the heck's Kevin doing? Then I figured it out. I'm like going, Chris Jericho is one of the stars of the movie. And speaking of wrestlers who's not done a lot of acting, Chris is a heck of a rocker. I've seen him perform in concert. I didn't know he was going to go to the big screen. I thought he didn't seem like he wanted to do it. So, I mean, how did Kevin convince him?
Oh, I mean, listen, they kind of had some sort of passing relationships here and there, and Jericho just, he's a character.
He absolutely is.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said before, wrestlers are,
are actors. Look, I don't care what you say.
Right.
You got a script. You are following a script, and you have to be able to pull that off as an actor.
Right.
And the physical stuff, that's another story. Either you can or you can't. The acting part of it is that you've got to develop it because you are selling a character.
Most definitely.
Yeah, that's.
And Jericho's also a podcaster.
Yes, this is true.
So I mean, it's like right in Kevin's wheelhouse, and they hit it off. And I actually was leaving Florida the day he was filming.
Wow.
So I kind of missed it to watch him film. But,
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, there was a tiny little bit of jealousy since I grew up being a wrestling fan. And when I saw him and Jay on the wrestling program, I was like, God.
Yeah, see that I was like,
because Kev was never really a big wrestling fan, even though we used to wrestle, me, him, my buddy Sambo and Pat O'Neill and my brother in my house on these mats and stuff and figure 4 leg locks like Ric Flair and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. So you were definitely more of a WCW guy in a sense.
No, both WWE. Doing snook off the couch and all that kind of stuff.
Soup Jimmy, yeah,
right,
absolutely.
The Cobra Clutch with Sergeant Slaughter, but so he didn't watch it religiously like I did.
Okay,
I mean, I knew everybody. I mean, I went to Sergeant Slaughter's house and got his autograph. Went to the camouflage limousine, took a picture. And I grew up with that, so I loved it. Kev liked it, but he wasn't like me. But when he got to do that, I was like, oh, man, that's pretty cool.
So in a sense, you're kind of living a little bit of a childhood dream with some of these wrestlers that you are acting with.
Oh, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, to have that connection with the wrestling community is pretty cool.
Now, there's actually a working movie that you are going to be working again with Snitsky, and it is a wrestling film. You want to elaborate a little bit on this?
Oh, Matt Ratz?
Yes.
Matt Ratz is a movie that my buddy Ed McKeever, who was one of the executive producers on 100 Acres of Hell, is working on.
Right.
And to be honest, and I've told this to Jason before, Jason Kerner, who's also my executive producer on 100 Acres of Hell. It's a fantastic script.
I like the plot. Please give everybody a breakdown to this, because I was reading about it and I'm going, I think this movie could have
to simplify it, it's the Bad News Bears version of childhood wrestling.
That's a good way of putting it.
That's
what it is. I like that. I never thought of it until you just said it. That's great.
That's what it is. And there's a couple other dynamics in there. So Ed is kind of on the fence if he wants to do it as a series or as a movie. I think a movie is the way to go.
Right.
But it's a great idea. And right now it's obviously on the back burner because of, whatever that's going on and things like that.
Sure.
But he does have some other projects he's trying to, we're all trying to get other stuff out.
Absolutely.
But I'm playing a coach. And Jason is playing my assistant. And we had a fun promo shoot that we did a while back that Ed hasn't released yet.
Okay.
And I think everybody will get a kick out of it. It's pretty funny.
It's Ernie O'Donnell here on the A Game. There's one more project that I'm going to get into random shots.
Yes.
Iron Terry Malone, Steven Van Zandt, working Little Steven. The Pastore brothers are in this project.
Right.
It looks like just this cute little film. It's like it's filmed in Jersey. It's basically they're going to rob a bar. If I got the basic premise of it. No, a little bit more than that.
No, not really.
Okay.
So that's another project that my buddy Jason Kerner is a part of, and his friend Christian Kyber and Stevie Van Zandt and Vinny Pastore. So it's Iron Terry Malone. It is, and they're as of right now. Again, that's on the back burner too. It's all about funding and the proper time with everything going on to get that movie out there.
That's interesting because you got a good cast. It seems like a good premise,
it's
a
great cast, and it's all going to be filmed locally up in North Jersey.
Cool.
If I'm correct, I hope I got this right, Jason. A lot of it's going to be in some of the locations, like I think on the waterfront locations up in Hoboken. Is that right, Jason?
Hoboken, maybe Bayonne.
Yeah.
Could be one of the two.
But
okay.
The gist of the movie is, these guys are in a bar, and there's this guy Terry Malone who just is pretty much indestructible, and they try to figure out a way to get insurance money.
Okay.
With him, and I really don't want to give too much away.
No, I get you.
But there's a lot of it's like a black comedy.
And you know what? Watching Steven Van Zandt as an actor, he goes to the dark side.
Yeah, it's those that. Well, I know Steven is. He has a small part in it. His wife Maureen's in it.
Okay.
Holt McCaley, I think it's McCaley from Mindhunters.
Another good actor.
Great show.
Yeah.
I'm so upset they took that off the air. But he's in it, and
Gary Pastore, who's in the Deduce.
Gary Pastore is in it, and he's playing Sledgehammer. But there's a lot of great local North Jersey, New York actors in it.
Sure.
And the fact that, that it's not being made right now is a tragedy.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It's such a great story, and I'm hoping
fingers crossed.
And wishing that these guys, can get this thing going, because it has to be made. Yeah, it's a great cast.
A lot of great momentum for you, my friend. A lot of good stuff happening now and happening in the future.
Yeah.
So now I get to put Ernie O'Donnell to work on my random shot segment here on the A Game. Christian's been through this. He knows. Okay, so this is basically a little deep dive into social media, a little bit knowing Ernie and about his career. The questions kind of go to that. So with that in mind, as we know, let's go back to Clerks. Rick Derris was a trainer. How much do you think you can bench press?
354.
Really now? 354 pounds. That's it. He's in the world's strongest men competition.
Don't you know a gallon of milk weighs 354? Come on. Come on, man.
Very nice. Let's go to horror. Pick one. Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers?
Oh, Michael Myers.
Michael Myers.
Hands down. Yeah.
We were talking a lot about wrestling today, and you mentioned a few of the moves, so it seems appropriate. What was your favorite wrestling move growing up out of all of them? Because you mentioned Superfly off the ropes.
Right.
You mentioned the figure 4 leg lock.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. I always used to put my brother in the chicken wing, which is Bob Backlund's signature move. So
pulling out the Backlund. I'm impressed.
Bob Backlund,
I am impressed with that. That was good.
Yeah.
All right. This is going to get a little ridiculous.
That's all right.
All right. Let's set it up. If this were a tag team match, who wins? Dante and Randall versus Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, Jay and Silent Bob.
Jay and Silent Bob. Well, Silent Bob's got the weight advantage. No, he doesn't have the weight advantage.
No. If you go by the OG Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, that's true.
And you know Jay is going to be fighting dirty.
Oh, let's put it this way. If you put that in a steel cage match, Jay and Silent Bob win. No doubt about it, because Jay's going to pull every trick out of the book.
And Bob's going to be flying off the top of the cage.
That's true.
It's just exactly. Right, just like in Mallrats. He's going to fly his ass right off there. You know that. You're going to give him the big boot.
Since you work with this guy, I'm going to set this up. It's a singles match. It's you versus Bruce Willis. Who wins?
Oh, Bruce.
Yeah.
And I'll tell.
He didn't even flinch.
Well, you know what? I might regress on that. And I'll tell you a quick little story.
Please.
So I'm shooting Cop Out, and I'm playing the robber.
Right.
It's me and Sean William Scott. Listen, I'm excited as shit to be on.
Oh, sure. You're in the presence of
John
Bruce
McClane.
Willis. Yeah.
I'm with John McClane.
There you go.
That's
Die
all
Hard.
Thank
you.
That's all I need to know.
There.
So the first scene with me with Bruce is me kind of like lunging towards him,
Okay.
and hitting him with a taser.
All right.
Now they gave me a real taser,
Mm-hmm.
not So I go in and he's like, "Yeah, just kind of fake it and bring and hit me in the gut and blah blah blah." I'm like, okay, and I come in, and I boom right in the gut.
Right.
Has to look real.
Yeah.
I give a little bit of an indent, but not too hard.
Right.
I mean, I'm not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Cut. All right, Kevzo's cut. All right. And then Bruce comes over to me, he's like, you got to be a little lighter with that. I was like, really? Dude, I said, you're John McClane. And he goes, yeah, that's, no. So, I mean, not to give anything away, but so they give me a rubber taser after that.
Oh, Jesus.
And I did it again, and he's got to fall on the ground,
Right.
as you see in the movie.
Yeah.
He's flat.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's, John McClane, he's going to do the fall. Of course he's going to do the fall. Shit, I'll do the fall. Because they have a mat right there.
Okay, right.
He doesn't do the fall. The stunt double comes in
Oh, no.
and does the fall.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I was in my glory. I was just in shell shock getting to work with this guy.
Oh, sure.
It
Come
was
on.
one of my greatest moments ever. And thank you to Kevin Smith. Thank you very much, buddy, for making that
absolutely.
happen. But that was cool because if that that gives you like the story. And I was afraid to even talk to him.
Oh, I can imagine. It's got to be
Because-
intimidating. You're kind of...
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm on set and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
got to be professional.
Right, of course.
Don't fan out.
Right, don't
And-
geek out. Yeah,
don't-
yeah.
And I didn't. But at the end of the day, when we got done shooting, and I walked by his trailer, I stopped, and he was there, and I just turned and I looked at him. I was like, "I'm sorry, man." If he goes, "No, it's all right." So he was very genuine,
Oh, that's nice to hear.
and he goes, "Yeah, Kev told me, you were a huge fan, and that you guys, moonlighting, and there's a whole back history with me and Kevin and Bruce Willis, and
Nice.
all that kind, and the return of Bruno, his songs and his music that I used to
Right.
play in my Scout." That's a '78 Scout International.
Wow.
So yeah, but it was very cool. I mean, I have to say that. Yeah, Bruce.
One thing I do know about Ernie, and this is kind of how we met, was through poker.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I will take your money.
Yes.
Dumb bitch.
Yeah. Yes, I should say that one. I finished second in one of his tournaments. It was
Yeah.
a nice moment.
Yeah. It hurt me to.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that. It did hurt.
It hurts a lot, man. Flipping those hundreds off.
I was like, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. But in all seriousness, because I know it seems like all the guys in the View Askew universe are poker players. So, in your opinion, who's the best one of the bunch?
Oh, wow.
I know Kevin plays. You know O'Halloran plays. I know you play. Ming Chen from Comic Book Men has played. Mike Zapsik, I know, plays from time to time.
Well,
Tough one.
it's a tough one. But if I go by, I mean, I've been playing with these guys for a long time.
True.
And Kev hasn't played in a while.
Okay, so you can't really go with Kevin, maybe.
Right. But if I go with the statistics and the ratings, and God, I hate giving it to him. But I'm probably going to say Christian Palladino, the line producer from Comic Book.
How about that?
Yeah, there's a lot of people who probably agree with me. Christian's a really good player. He's always in the top tier of the rankings that we try to keep together. But not to dismiss. Listen, Brian's a great player.
He is. I've played with him a lot.
Tom Mumm is a good player. He's one of the main guys too.
Right.
It's tough. But if I had to pick somebody,
right.
To be fair, I'd probably say Christian Palladino. But I've smoked him on a couple occasions, and so has O'Halloran. O'Halloran has smoked him. I've smoked O'Halloran. O'Halloran has smoked me.
Right.
I mean, there's all these different dynamics.
Oh, sure.
But that's poker.
Definitely.
Yeah.
One last question, and this one kind of puts you on the spot. And if you get this wrong, I think Snitsky's going to be not happy with you.
Oh.
When he was wrestling, he did have a tagline. Do you remember his tagline from when he was wrestling?
I've heard that stupid tagline.
Here we go.
I just every time you talk to him or something goes wrong, or something happens, it's not my fault.
There it is. All right, beautiful.
He uses it in everything. I'm like, all right, big boy, that's enough.
Hey, look, man, it made him a lot of money. You
Yes,
can't blame him,
yes,
you know?
him and his baby kicking.
Exactly.
You can't knock the guy. I mean, he's got a gimmick, and it works for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Christian, if we can put up that photo again. Again, it's streaming on just about all the services. It's 100 Acres of Hell. It is Gene Snitsky as the star. Ernie O'Donnell is one of the co-stars. It is quite a romp, and as Ernie was saying, the fight scene alone is worth your attention. So go find it and enjoy it. And, you know, Halloween coming up, perfect time to enjoy a good horror
Yeah, get
film.
on those streaming sites. Watch that.
Absolutely.
Do it, or else I'll send Snitsky after you.
Yeah, and you don't want that. You don't want a 6'8", 300-pound man coming after you. It would not be good.
No, he actually flicked me in the nuts on set one day.
Oh, get out of here.
Trust me.
Here's a good way to go on.
All right.
The flicking of the nuts story. I like this.
The flicking of the nuts. So there's a scene. Nobody sees the scene. You know, this is behind the scenes.
Okay,
footage.
all right. Just so we get this straight.
I'm getting ready to lay on a table
in
a scene. I'm not going to say why I'm on the table.
No one has questions.
So just before we say action,
all right.
Gene walks into the room because Gene comes into the room as I'm on the table.
All right, gotcha.
He walks into the room and he's like, Ernie, do a good job, you know, and then just pa like this, pa, right? And I'm laying on the table, flicks me in the nut, and I'm just like, they're like, action.
Oh no!
And I'm like, I couldn't do anything.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
oh man,
the guy's fingers are massive. I mean, it was, you know, it could. So I was like, cut, cut, and they're like, what? I was like, this mother. And he walks back and he pokes his head back in the room. What's up, bro? You all right? I was like, you motherfucker.
You know now I have to get Snitsky on my podcast to talk about
I
this.
can make that out.
Good. I look forward to it.
I was like, just help me off the table. I had to walk it off.
I mean, you wouldn't think that little, but again,
no.
he's that strong.
Well, we used to do that in high school. We used to call it flicking.
Yeah.
The flick. You walk down the halls and you flick somebody in the nuts.
But it might stun you.
Right.
It'll sting you for a couple seconds, but it's not supposed to linger for like 10 minutes. You know?
I was down by the count. I mean, so we had to take like a 10-minute break. I had to walk that, shake the nut down, get it. I mean, it's all. Listen, hey, it's all in good fun.
Absolutely. That's a great story to go out on, man.
Yeah, the old Snutsky.
Absolutely. Ernie, congratulations on all this
buddy.
success, man. I appreciate you doing this.
Oh, yeah.
That was a real blast. Thanks,
you guys
man.
are great.
Hey, listen, that's a wrap for the A-game for me. I'm back on tomorrow morning, 10:30. As a matter of fact, one of Ernie's co-stars from his short film, and I want to give a real quick shout-out for the film that he just won for, which is called The Seventh Day. Yeah. You can find that on many places, including YouTube. Worth checking out. My buddy Bob is in the movie. He has a alternate character known as the Bobbus. And when I was working in radio in Wilmington, he did prognosticating of football, had an 85% success rating.
Wow.
He's good. So I partnered him and Dave Walls from HC13 in Virginia and my friend Gene Sislak, who were on Podadelphia. And we're going to do roundtable football tomorrow morning and other sports. So if you want to check that out, 10:30 tomorrow morning, and we'll be doing that virtually. Until then, for Ernie O'Donnell and for my buddy Christian behind the scenes, I'm Rob Akampora. That's a wrap for the A-game. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.